Hello, everybody. How's everybody's evening going? Okay, so like I promised, I'm back with another little segment on your nutrition and health. So tonight, I'm going to go over chronic illnesses. Okay, so what do you think of when you hear the words chronic illnesses? A lot of people think different things. So, what I think about is like cancer, diabetes, things that are very long term, that can be dangerous if it's not taken care of, and can even kill you, actually. So, I'm just going to go over some things that you probably didn't know that was included in the chronic illness category. So, heart disease, kidney disease, diabetes, of course, inflammation. And I didn't think inflammation was considered a chronic illness, but it's actually the number one cause of things like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, even some other types of inflammation, arthritis. I mean, nobody ever really thinks that that's considered chronic. Tendinitis, bronchitis, tonsillitis, those are minor or acute versions of inflammation. Lupus, IBS, Crohn's, cancer, of course, I've already mentioned that. Asthma, COPD, osteoporosis, and depression. That one was kind of interesting to me. I wouldn't have thought that depression could be considered a type of inflammation. So, when I was reading up on inflammation as part of my class, it said that it's inflammation of the brain, which makes sense because depression is sometimes or is classified as like a mental illness. It can be a mental illness, and so it's also linked to lack of sleep. So those of us who get very little sleep or have insomnia a lot, we have a higher risk of becoming depressed. So, osteoporosis, of course, that's where hey Charity, that's where your body does not absorb calcium or your vitamin D very well. And that occurs when your digestive system cannot absorb those things very well. And so whenever that happens, it's because your gut flora or the bacteria in your digestive system is definitely off kilter. So you have more bad bacteria than you have good bacteria. So the types of illnesses that inflammation that's considered the most chronic is heart disease, diabetes. Those were two big ones for me because those are things that my family history, my medical history for my family is very populated with, I guess you could say. And then, of course, things like lupus, IBS, Crohn's, cancer, asthma, and COPD were kind of interesting because I didn't think those were considered chronic illnesses, but I guess COPD would fall in that category. So, the good thing about this is all of these things can be, you can reduce the intensity of the inflammation, and you can also, reduce the effects by one simple thing, your nutrition. You take out things like sugars, artificial sweeteners, colors, flavors. I know some people are probably thinking that's all the fun stuff, but it's actually true. If you take out those two things alone, you'll not only lose weight, but you'll reduce your risk of a lot of different chronic illnesses that can be affected, not just the ones that I mentioned. And then if you'll need to increase the amount that you consume of your leafy vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, spinach, that kind of stuff. Lower the amounts of your starchy carbs, which is like your white potatoes, white rice, white pasta, that kind of stuff, then eat a lot of healthy fats. So that's the kicker, right? You don't know what's healthy, what's not. So fat is healthy to a certain degree. Like you can't overload your body on fats, but there are a lot of fats out there that are very healthy for you, like coconut oil, olive oil, avocados is actually a really good healthy fat. Cheese. I know some people are like, oh, you can't eat a lot of cheese, but you can to a certain degree. You don't want to go crazy with it. Like you don't want to eat a whole block of cheese at one time, but you can still have more than like an ounce or two at a time and still be okay and not be going overboard with your digestive system or anything. There was also, the doctors are saying, hey, to prevent heart disease, you need to cut down on your cholesterol and cut down on your fats. Well, another thing that healthy fats does is it prevents you from having brain fog. Sorry, brain fog. And so the reason for this is because your brain loves healthy fats. That's how it functions the best. So if you're feeling really kind of sluggish and you can't really think straight and you're like, oh my gosh, why do I have the brain fog? Well, go eat you some healthy fats, like some guacamole or like made from scratch, of course. You don't want to go buy something that has a lot of preservatives in it. And then some other foods that you could eat that will help reduce your inflammation. It's cold water fish like salmon. I've already mentioned avocados. Your cruciferous vegetables, like I said, the broccoli, the kale, the spinach, cauliflower, those types of, the green leafy lettuce or the red leafy lettuce, watermelon, walnuts, olive oil, like I mentioned before, berries like strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, those kinds, the dark ones, because they have a lot of antioxidants that help boost your immune system as well. And then spices like turmeric and rosemary, ginger, oregano, and nutmeg are awesome to keep your body from getting really flamed up with arthritis and everything. And then, last but not least, frankincense is an essential oil. You can just rub it on your feet or like in your knee if you're feeling an ache or pain in your knee, and it'll help it go away. It's pretty awesome, huh? So if you want to learn more about how nutrition can actually help your health and not just be the fuel that keeps your body going, then stay tuned because there's more to come. See y'all later.